Once the heart of California's frontier economy in the 1800s, fur trapping would be banned under a new bill in the state assembly. Trapping is now a fairly tiny part of the Golden State's economy. The bill is sponsored by San Diego Democrat Lorena Gonzalez Fletcher. She says fur trapping is cruel, and she says taxpayers subsidize the industry because the cost of managing this program is not even covered by the revenue from trapping license fees. California-based dating app Tinder is settling an age discrimination lawsuit for $23 million. John Jeffries has the details on that story.
The class action lawsuit was filed in California in April on behalf of all Tinder subscribers who are 29 years of age or older. The company charged older people subscribed to Tinder Plus or Tinder Gold twice as much as younger users. The company must hand out more than $11 million to all class members, and another almost $6 million will be divided to members who file claims. John Jeffries, NBC News Radio.
iHub Radio weather.
The warming trend of above normal temperatures continues in the desert cities after a really nice weekend with highs just as expected in the upper 70s. Heating up even more, though, on Monday, even though we have some clouds moving into the area to a high temperature around 83 degrees. That's more than a dozen degrees above our seasonal average for this time of year in January at the end. Still warm, though, but a little cooler and less cloudy on Tuesday with a high expected around 78 in the Coachella Valley. That's your iHub Radio weather forecast for Monday, January 27th. I'm Charlie Dyer.
Always on.
America will hear my 2 cents.
Elected to serve iHub Radio listeners across the desert cities. He calls it as he sees it.
Quick question.
Now, here's Russ Betts.
Someone answer him now!
Well, happy Monday and welcome to the Russ Betts Show. I'm your host, Russ Betts, and we're back for another broadcast week here at iHub Radio. It was a good weekend. I had some time to relax. Hope you all did too. I went out to a friend came into town, and we decided we were going to go find something to eat. And we walked into a restaurant where we normally figure at that time of night we can just walk in. It was about maybe 7:30. We thought we'd just walk in and get ourselves a table, and got stopped at the "Please wait to be seated" sign, and we're told, well, sorry, there's no tables available right now. It's a little busy. And we looked, and we didn't really want to take that long for dinner. And she informed us that it was a 20 or 30-minute wait to get a table. And so we said, okay, well, that's unusual. Thank you very much. We'll go to another place. So we left, got in the car, drove down to the next choice that we wanted. And we could tell that all of a sudden it was, first off, hard to find a parking spot. The restaurant was really, really busy. And you could see inside that there's a line of people waiting at the door. And I thought, okay, well, that's not going to work. So went down to another restaurant, same thing. Finally said, all right, look, let's pull in here. This place is good. The food's good. We'll try this. And we get in there, and we didn't notice that they have a back parking lot, but that was full. So we said, all right, that's it. Everything's busy. Let's just go here. And so they did fine. The restaurant did really well. They handled the crowd well. And I noted to the waitress, I said, busy, huh? And she says, oh, yeah. But that time it was about 8 o'clock, and we were starting to see more people streaming out than were coming in like we were. But there were still people coming in, and it was just darn busy. Now, I made the mistake of posting while I was there at the table waiting for our food. I posted, wow, the economy looks good. I've run into this long wait on the... every restaurant we've been to has been busy. And for the life of me, I can't figure out some of these responses I got. Like most people gave what I thought was a normal response. Wow, that's great news. Good news. The economy's busy. That's good to hear that our local restaurants are doing well and they've got a waiting line. It really is unusual if you think back to where the economy used to be. Well, then I started getting some odd responses that I still can't figure out. I don't know where people's heads are at, but they said, oh, well, one of them came in as, well, the TSA agents aren't there. And so I thought to myself, I look around and I said, well, do I yell out to the room, anybody here that works for the TSA here in the room? And then somebody else, well, it turned into this big political discussion. And I go, for the life of me, I can't figure out what is going on in people's heads that if you make a simple statement, innocent, innocuous statement like, wow, the economy's good, every restaurant we've been to is busy, this is surprising, turns into this, I'll use the word triggered conversation by people who I think they just must wake up every day with all this political stuff swirling around in their heads. And, well, I doubt they're listening here, because if they've got that much going on in their head, that I swear if you said, wow, it's a nice sunny day today, they'd figure out some reason to disagree with you because they think it's some good news is bad news. And anyhow, there's lots of shows out there for you. Go get your therapy on all these other radio talk shows. We don't get into that here. And I'm going to be much more careful on social media when I post something. Maybe I'll be a little bit more reserved. I'll say, well, it seems a little busy here today, but don't make anything out of this now. I'm just making an observation. We're going to qualify everything. Anyhow, all right. So that was my weekend excitement, social media, and trying to figure out these conversations. I responded back. I said, is there any chance that maybe you're on the wrong thread? You read this one, you're posting to this one by mistake? Anyhow, all right. Well, Stockton's having some trouble doling out free cash. And you'd think, wow, if a city wants to give money away, why would they be having trouble doing that? I mean, you wouldn't think government would have a hard time getting people to sign up for free money. Well, that's what's happening in Stockton. They're experimenting with something called universal basic income. And they mailed out letters to 1,200 households offering $500 per month. Now, I'm thinking to myself, okay, you get a letter in the mail that says, hi, we'd like to give you $500 a month. Well, I got a guy from, Nairobi or Nigeria who's telling me I've won $1 million. All I do is sign up, and I'm guessing that might be a little bit what's going on because they haven't gotten any takers. It's basically, it's real money. If you can actually get, and they only had a few people out of the 1,200 that were ready to go. The people thought it was a hoax. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know why they're going for anything called, what do they call this? Universal basic income. The concept is if we just give everybody a universal basic income, well, then we'll be okay. People will get along. People won't be starving. People won't be hungry. But I think we already have that social safety net of a universal basic income in this country. You're not going to starve. If you need food, you can get it. And I know there's people out there that are having a tough time and aren't getting everything they need according to the standards of this country. And there's certainly poverty. I'm not debating that point. But just handing out cash to somebody and thinking that that's going to solve the problem. Anyhow, well, it's not solving the problem in Stockton because... well, they haven't got anybody to take it. Anyhow, all right. Well, we'll watch that one and see if maybe they figure out how to give away that money. But so far, nothing. Now, Friday, if you were listening, I think it was Friday, if you were listening to the show, we had Police Chief Dale Mondary on from City of Desert Hot Springs talking about some pretty good numbers out of the city. And I got a little excited because for any of you new listeners who don't know, by my day job, I'm a city council member in the City of Desert Hot Springs, and we had some good numbers on our crime report out of the FBI, showing us down 15.6%. And so we thought that was pretty good news. Well, it turns out that the violent crime is dropping in some other major cities in California. I mean, that's the news hitting that Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, and Oakland have all seen a drop in violent crime. Their rates are down. So it's, after decades of increasing, they're finally starting to see something reverse the other way. Overall, the decrease is about 4%, which is it's still a little bit higher than it was 2 years ago. They're going to take dips, but those are the statistics that came out as of December 8th. And, well, that's good news. Overall, crime was down in all categories in 2018, except for these. Personal theft, that's up by 3%. And so that would be, people stealing stuff from you. I call those the nuisance crimes. But the serious crimes, like rape, robbery, assault, homicide, those are all down. San Francisco experienced a 25% drop in homicides. That's good news. And a 2% drop in violent crime. And an 8% drop in property crime. But I'm hearing different reports out of that. There's people living in San Francisco saying their cars are getting broken into all the time. In Oakland, they're saying it was an 11% drop in crime. So I'm not sure where these numbers are coming from. A lot of this starts bringing up AB 109 and Prop 47 in California and Prop 57. Well, these were ones where basically decriminalized a lot of offenses. Basically, if you steal, this is very simple terms, if you steal something that's only worth $900 or less, you basically get a ticket. You're not going to do any jail time. The police are having a hard time even prosecuting something like that. It's led to, all this has led to a huge shift to releasing a lot of people from state prison or transferring to counties. County jails are full. And so we'll just have to watch that one. But it's interesting numbers. I've got another story here in the stack talking about how those Prop 47 and AB, 109 and Prop 57 all have led to increased crime. But here's a report that's saying that it's dropped in some of the major cities. So, well, maybe they're all going to the smaller cities. Who knows? San Jose's mayor was hit by a car while bicycling. The mayor of San Jose, he's an avid bicyclist, and he was riding his bike on New Year's Day, and he was struck by a car. It says here in the story that he was struck by an SUV, but I think an SUV technically classifies as a car. I don't know why the designation, whenever they reported something, was it a car or was it an SUV? Well, anyhow, they seem to want to specify whether it's an SUV or a car or not. But anyhow, he was struck by a car, and Sam Liccardo is his name. And he was biking on Salt Lake Drive when a car cut him off and forced him to careen into the vehicle. And he was thrown through the windshield and suffered back injuries, a broken collarbone, a broken chest bone. And the driver remained on the scene, is cooperating with the police. Sounds like somebody either didn't see the bike, didn't know he was there. Now, Liccardo, he's an avid bicycling enthusiast, and he was quick to thank his neighbors and the first responders who rushed to his aid. He did that on Twitter, so he's apparently well enough to Twitter or tweet. What do you call it? Tweet? Is that what it is when you're twittering, you tweet? I'm not a Twitterer. How do you keep up with all this stuff? If I had to keep up with every social media platform out there, I don't think I'd be doing anything except social media, which I tend to spend much time on anyhow. So he also received well wishes from a group, the San Francisco Bicycle Coalition, and they said the incident underscores the importance of Vision Zero, a road safety project that a bunch of cities have adopted, including San Jose, where the mayor is a bicyclist. Now, if you haven't heard of what Vision Zero is, that's my segue into Vision Zero, if you haven't figured that out. Vision Zero is a multinational road traffic safety project that aims to achieve a highway system with no fatalities or serious injuries involving road traffic. And this one started in Sweden in October of 1977, according to this article I'm reading. Now, the core principle of Vision Zero is that life and health can never be exchanged for other benefits within society. And you got to think about that one a little bit. Basically, that one means that not one life should be lost to a bicycle accident, so we're going with Vision Zero, and that any other benefits, one life can't be exchanged for any other benefits. Now, if you drill down into that one a little bit, you can see that it's got some problems for motorists, because if nothing else is considered except that one life, well, then you get into problems. And we're going to take a quicker look at that here in a little bit. We got some time for a break. This is the Russ Betts Show on iHub Radio.
Hey, Thirst, can I try out a few Coke Summer sound effects on you? Yes. Cool. You okay with this? Yes. And this? Yes. And what about this? Yes. Ha! Gotcha! Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
Who doesn't love barbecuing year-round? It's Kate Senna to tell you about the Grill Man. Frank the Grill Man's been selling, servicing, and repairing all brands of outdoor grills in the desert for 15 years. The Grill Man offers warranty service for many high-end manufacturers. Maybe it's time to retrofit an existing island. Frank the Grill Man's personal service, integrity, and low overhead make him the right choice for your barbecue. The Grill Man. Call today, 760-298-4698, or visit callthegrillman.com.
When you get the right cut, bad hair days are few and far between. Whether it's time for a trim or you want to look your very best for one of life's extra special events, Minus Hair Salon in Desert Hot Springs has been in the business of helping clients look their very best for more than 15 years. There's a reason people across the Coachella Valley keep returning to Mina. Updos, fades, shampoo set, and great men's haircuts. Full color and touch-ups too. Men, women, children. You never have to experience a bad hair day. Minus Hair Salon, comfortable, air-conditioned, free Wi-Fi, and open every day of the week. Located just south of Pearson Boulevard on Palm Drive in Desert Hot Springs. Looking for great style at reasonable prices? Then you need to end those bad hair days and visit Mina. Call 760-288-7398. That's 760-288-7398 for an appointment. And walk-ins are always welcome. Mina's Hair Salon at 12084 Palm Drive in the heart of Desert Hot Springs.
Read about it tomorrow. See it tonight. Hear it all day today. If it's happening in the Coachella Valley, it's front and center now on iHub Radio.
And there it is.
Now, here's Russ Betts.
Okay, before we came up to the break, we were talking about the mayor of San Jose who got hit by SUV while bicycling in his city. He's a big advocate of Vision Zero, so we use that for a little segue into discussion of Vision Zero. And the principle of Vision Zero, at least its name comes from, there will be 0 deaths from any type of collision between bicycles and cars, which is a wonderful goal, but it says there will be no compromise when it comes to other considerations like benefits within society. And that would be like not getting in a traffic jam. The idea is that no matter how safe we have to make it, and there's always been, that's been the thinking, that's always been the trade-off, that the more conventional comparison is where a monetary value is placed on life and health, and then that value is used to decide how much money to spend on road network towards the benefits of decreasing how much risk. I mean, isn't that the thinking? Geez, we could spend $1 billion on this project, but it probably only result in one life being saved. Well, according to Vision Zero, spend $1 billion. According to Vision Zero, and I applaud the goal of trying to, save these lives. I don't want to see anybody getting hit on a bicycle and killed. But there's some practical realities, and Vision Zero doesn't seem to be encompassing those. Talk to the people of Playa del Rey. They had a road calming project as part of Vision Zero, and that caused major traffic jams so bad that they had to pull those traffic changes out. What they did is they basically took a lane away from the residents there, and there's got to be some thinking applied to this. They had 2 lanes in Playa del Rey, and if you've ever been up to that part of Los Angeles suburbs and through that area, 2 lanes is not enough to carry the traffic, and they decided they were going to take one of the lanes and dedicate it exclusively to bicycles, and then the cars would all have to suffer through one lane, and it was taking people 45 minutes to an hour to get to a store that was either a mile or 2 away. They were just trapped in their community, so it was so bad they undid it. Now, if you look around Palm Springs area, you can see some roads have now gone through the transition. I think it was a San Rafael Drive, used to be a nice, big, wide 4-lane boulevard. It had parking and 2 traffic lanes in each direction. I don't know if they had a turn lane or not, but that's now reduced to 1 lane. But it's not a critical road artery like they had up in Playa del Rey. So there's some thinking that's gone into it. And they've picked a road that, now, as I'm driving down that road, I used to pull down if there was somebody in front of me going slow. Well, I could, always within the speed limit. I could get around them and keep going. I didn't go speeding down the boulevard, but now I don't have that option. If there's somebody there going 5 miles an hour under the speed limit, I've just now either got two choices: ride in the bike lane and get a big ticket for that, or just cruise behind them. So, if I'm going to bicycle in Palm Springs, I'm going to go look to that road, and as I'm sitting there thinking, well, this would be nice. There's a nice separation here, and this would be a great place to ride a bike. Got to the end of that section, and I said, okay, now I'm back to fighting. If I'm a bicycle rider, I'm back to fighting with the cars again over this, because it makes a turn and comes down towards, was it a turn at Sunrise there? I think it is. Wherever it is, makes that bend and connects up to Sunrise. Now you're looking at fighting with the traffic again. So I don't know. Are we ever going to get to the point where, this stuff started in Sweden, and you look at videos and you see there's lots of people in Europe ride bicycles on a regular basis. But is that really ever going to take hold here in California? Is anybody really? Am I going to get everywhere I want to go on a bicycle? I mean, we're spending huge amounts of money on this. So I just don't know if it's realistic. And it's not working the other way. On the 91 freeway, they just spent, $1 billion to fix the traffic jam on the 91 freeway. And you can sure see that that's not working, because 91 is, don't take the 91. No matter where you're going, just don't take the 91. Maybe in the middle of the night, but any other time, don't take it. And in the city of Corona, this new traffic improvement to the 91 has caused some kind of traffic mess like you can't believe. That I think I would encourage, after hearing about these complaints of the residents of Corona, you'd be better off taking a bicycle down to the store. I sat in on the Riverside County Transportation Commission meeting, and we had this issue came up, and they were down there urging the commission to put some improvements on a fast track, because the counts that they told us were, if I drive to the store from my house, it takes me 45 minutes to get there, because all the traffic that's backed up going in the direction towards the store or to school or whatever it is. But when I come home, it only takes me 5 minutes. So what used to be normally a 5-minute drive is now a 45-minute drive in one way, stuck in this god-awful traffic jam, and then smooth sailing coming back the other direction. I for a while there, I lived in Shanghai, and I spent more than a lot of time riding my bicycle around. In fact, I probably pedaled from one side of Shanghai to the other at one point in time, just everywhere it took me on my travels. And we would look at the traffic jams, and we would think, we can get in a taxi and take a ride down to where we were going that day. And it would take a long time. You'd watch all these bicycles going past you. So finally we decided, it's quicker to get there by bicycle. Anyhow, but I don't know if we're ever going to get to the point like countries like China. Have you ever seen China? And I guess you haven't been there, but they have something called bicycle rush hour. And it starts at about 7 o'clock. And imagine a bicycle race here in the U.S. where they've lined up and you got all these riders taking off from the starting line. It's just this huge mass of bicycles, and they haven't thinned out yet or anything. They're all just riding together. Well, that's what it looks like at bicycle rush hour in China. And then you also have something called, they had the electric scooter rush hour was about a half hour after that. That's when all the scooters would take off, the gas-powered and electric scooters. They've since got rid of the gas-powered scooters, but and you think, why is the electric scooters rush hour a half hour later? Well, because they can get there a half hour faster than a pedal bicycle. They can go faster, and they don't have to slow for the hills like the bicycle riders do. So I don't know if we're going to get to the point. I think some of these people that are working on Vision Zero and a lot of this other transportation policy have some vision that we're all going to get on our bicycles and go through bicycle rush hour like they do in other countries, or become like Sweden and just give up our cars. Anybody see anybody in Los Angeles willing to give up their car? I ain't seen it yet. Okay, we got lots more to go here on the Russ Betts Show here on iHub Radio. Back with more.
medication is not created equal. Meds 311 is your source for genuine Viagra, Levitra, and Cialis, shipped discreetly to your home or office without an embarrassing doctor visit. Don't waste your hard-earned money on inferior products. Why settle for less when the real thing is just a phone call away? Meds 311 takes the headache out of getting the medication you want. We handle everything, including the doctor, prescription, pharmacy, and shipping. Ordering couldn't be easier. All you have to do is call. When it comes to your performance, be the best you can be. The best you can be. Representatives are standing by now. Call 800-591-1934. Again, that's 800-591-1934. Or visit us online at meds311.com. Meds 311 gives you the power to choose. Call now, 800-591-1934. That's 800-591-1934. Call now.
NBC News Radio, I'm Brian Shook. 2 Houston police officers are said to be in critical condition after being shot while serving a warrant. The president of the Houston Police Union said 3 other officers who were injured are in stable condition. They were rushed to Memorial Hermann Hospital after the shooting. Houston police say 1 suspect was killed in the confrontation. The Justice Department is indicting a Chinese telecom giant. Acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker said the company Huawei conspired to steal trade secrets from T-Mobile. The company is also being charged with bank and wire fraud. Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election is almost finished.
But right now, the investigation is, I think, close to being completed, and I hope that we can get the report from Director Mueller as soon as possible.
Acting Attorney General Whitaker said he's been fully briefed on the investigation but wouldn't give any details. Brian Shook, NBC News Radio.
At IID, we put our customers first and are committed to tailoring rates, policies, and services to meet the needs of the communities we serve. With that in mind, we are in the process of developing a new green energy rate program that will allow customers to designate how much renewable energy they wish to be served with. This year, 35% of the energy we provide comes from renewable sources. Customers who participate in this new program can choose to be served with even more. For more information and to sign up on our interest list, please visit iid.com/greenenergy.
It's that time of year again when we love to eat, drink, and be merry. Hey, this is Ted Geist with an invitation to join us at our new showtime. 2 p.m. every Sunday, we'll tackle the bulge at the belt line and motivate you to keep the bulges in all the right places. I mean the biceps. Please join our conversation on healthy habits that will keep you in balance through the holiday season and beyond. Fitness is so important all year long, and you don't have to let it get the better of you just because there are parties and feasts to be attended. Regardless of where you're at on your journey to healthy living, a good fit makes getting and staying in shape inspired, fun, and rewarding. Meet people of all life stages and states of fitness as we talk about achieving the body type, the weight, and the wellness that you not only want, but that will keep you happy and healthy for years to come. A Good Fit, Sundays, and now at 2 p.m. with an encore Mondays at 6 p.m. on iHub Radio.
You'll find an Italian dining treasure at Capri Italian Restaurant at Miracle Springs Resort. This is real Italian food. Italian family recipes like classic chicken scampi, homemade lasagna, and chicken piccata. Visitors rave about the filet and ribeye with Marsala wine steak sauce served on a sizzling plate. Capri's legendary steak dishes are priced way below those expensive chain restaurants. Discover the Italian dining treasure with a 35-year heritage of excellence. Capri Italian Restaurant at Miracle Springs Resort.
The conversation of your life. Local, relevant, digital, and always on.
America will hear my 2 cents.
Elected to serve iHub radio listeners across the desert cities. He calls it as he sees it.
Quick question.
Now, here's Russ Betts.
Someone answer him now!
Okay, well, at the start of the show, or the beginning of the show, we were talking about violent crimes dropping in some major cities. I was reading this news account, and it kind of struck me as odd because I was reading somewhere else that crime in California was up, and I'm going, okay, well, which is it? We've got this one article here by the Los Angeles Times that says, according to this article, AB 109, Prop 47, and Prop 57, which basically decriminalized some crimes, if you can call it that. That's not a very technical term, but go with me on this one. anyhow, they're saying AB 109, Prop 47, and Prop 57, which led to some early releases of people who otherwise would have still been in jail and has reduced the prison populations in the state, has had all that. Even with all that happening, there's been a drop in crime. But now I'm looking at another article, and I knew I saw it here, so it troubled me as I was sharing this with you, is that it says, over the last decade, California has led the nation in reducing its prison population. The state shortened sentences, diverted some offenders to counties for incarceration, and then transferred California's, all this has transformed California's criminal justice system into what supporters hope will become a humane model around the country. But amid the changes, and here it comes, crime has increased in recent years. So here I got a story out of the Los Angeles Times that says crime has decreased in recent years. Well, here's another story that says crime has increased in recent years. I mean, I'm reading that verbatim, both of them. And what's interesting is the one that says crime has decreased in recent years is the Los Angeles Times. And the one that says crime has increased in recent years is by something called an analysis by the Marshall Project and the Los Angeles Times. So here I got two stories, not days apart, saying that violent crime has dropped and that violent crime has increased. I'm going to have to dig into this. How do you know what's real anymore if one headline says, now crime is up, and the other one says crime drops? How do you know? And then they're both out of the same source. They're both tie back to the Los Angeles Times. And if you're reading this other article, you see that part of this is there's a 2020 ballot initiative that aims to fix the loopholes in Prop 47 by reclassifying some crimes as violent, expanding parolee oversight, continuing with DNA collection, and then cracking down on serial theft, which is the big problem everybody's having. So you got to wonder where, maybe this is just election time and that's what explains this. I don't know. I'm just we got to set this here. We're going to study this. We'll come back to you with maybe we'll get somebody from the Los Angeles Times to explain why it is they're simultaneously saying crime is up and crime is down in two separate stories appearing in two different places. Maybe they think we don't read. I don't know. All right, well, we'll shift to some easier news to digest and something that's actually good news for the Coachella Valley. There's an organization that's called, what are they called? They're called Spas of America Top 20 List. And they've come out with a list, no, not top 20, top 100. They've come out with a list of let me read it from you. North Americans continue their love affair with the spa and wellness travel, as illustrated by the Spas of America's annual list of top 100 spas. And this is all over the world. This isn't just limited to the U.S. or California. And so now let me get to the good news. The Sunstone Spa at the Aqua Caliente in Rancho Mirage, California, comes in at, what were they at? Third out of the top 100. They're number 3. That's pretty good. That's pretty good news. And then you come down here a little further, and there's a spa called, never heard of this one, the Biggest Loser Resort in Palm Desert. And it came in at it's pretty close to the top. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Number 19 out of 100. So that's good news. And then you got, actually, California fared really well. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 17 out of California that are on the top 100. So 17 out of the top 100 just in California. I think California did really, really well. I mean, this is all over the place. And then there's another one here that's interesting. It's the Spring Resort in Desert Hot Springs. And it came in at, what was it at? It's in the top 100 also. So there you go. The Spring, they call it the Spring, not the Springs. That's up in on Raposo Way in Desert Hot Springs. Well, it made the top 100. So, hey, there's some good news here in the Valley. That this tracks a lot of tourism coming into our area. And, what strikes me when somebody talks about the top 100 spas in the world is, first off, somebody had to visit these spas to be able to rank them. I mean, how do you get that job? That'd be a nice job to have, wouldn't it? Actually, I think it's a little more complex than that, because I'm reading here in this article, the 2018 International Spa Association and U.S. spa industry conducted the study. And it was commissioned by something called the ISPA Foundation and undertaken by PwC. And they didn't give me what those acronyms are in the article. I guess this is an industry-specific journal where everybody knows what those acronyms are. I thought I saw all the acronyms in city government. This is a new one on me. I guess everybody's got acronyms. All right. Well, hey, what are you going to do? Anyhow, those organizations report consumers made 187 million visits to spas in the United States. So it wasn't just one person going to all those and ranking them. There's 187 million people gave their input to derive these numbers. And it's interesting, the spa industry generated $17.5 billion in revenue, and the average cost, the average amount spent at a spa was $93.70 per visit. So there you go. For under $100, you can feel great, and you don't have to travel far. You can go to Rancho Mirage, Palm Desert, or Desert Hot Springs to get your spa experience. Should I do the Desert Hot Springs Chamber of Commerce thing again? There's only one city in the Coachella Valley, only one, no other, that has hot, natural mineral water. The spring does not have a pool heater. I think the other ones on this list have pool heaters. So the water in Desert Hot Springs, hence the name of the city, Desert Hot Springs, comes right out of the ground at anywhere from 120 to 150 degrees, brought into the pool, mixed with cool water, if you can't swim in 140 degrees, and then percolates back down to the ground as it goes out. But they're all powered by wells. If you're a pool man, you're looking to sell pool heaters in Desert Hot Springs, well, maybe the residential houses, fine, but not to the hotels. They all operate without them. We don't need them. God gave us a heater underneath our city. So anyhow, okay, I had probably too much time with that. The economy. We were talking about the economy earlier also, and it looks like, the holiday sales numbers are starting to come in. It's still early. They haven't released all the data, but the preliminary numbers are that this year, holiday sales were up 5.1%, totaling more than $850 billion. And that's according to MasterCard Spending Pulse, which tracks this type of stuff from the payment card vendor. All the transactions go through them, so there you go. The National Retail Federation had projected that consumers on average had planned to spend $1,000 for decorations, candy, gifts, and other purchases for themselves. Anyhow, so that's good. Now, I don't want anybody calling in or sending me an email, getting all upset or telling me what about the TSA agents. We know the TSA agents are in a work stoppage. We know I figured it out. Somebody clued me in. They sent me an email and said, Russ, the reason they're asking you about the TSA agents is because of the government shutdown. And this email here says, by the way, you can email us at studio@ihubradio.com. I do read them. I do see them. Don't always read them on air. But this one is pointing out to me that basically, they didn't say it in so many words, but hey, you dummy, there's a shutdown on, and the TSA agents aren't getting paid, so they couldn't have been the people at the restaurant. So what are you doing bragging about a good economy when there's poor TSA agents out there that are going without a paycheck? I'm sorry, the thought hadn't crossed my mind, and that doesn't make me insensitive. I just happened to walk into a restaurant and see that all of them I went into were really busy, and I thought that was good news. And I guess somebody is probably going to get upset reporting that retail sales are up 5.1% this year. Well, let me get into some news that'll maybe make somebody happy. It's not all rosy. Walmart, that just bought Jet.com, well, and it acquired that for $3 billion. Its online sales were down by 53%. So there, if you want some good news. Walmart sales were down 53%. I don't mean that. I know there's some people out there like Walmart. I'm just saying there's some of you out there that just can't handle good news and really, really want, well, the only way to put it is bad news. Except to you, it's good news. So we're going to give you some more. JCPenney was down 10% there. That'll make you feel good. And financially troubled Sears, well, they were down 22%. And, of course, they had to file bankruptcy. They're having trouble. And Best Buy. Yeah, you think Best Buy. Everybody likes Best Buy. Man, their electronic gadgets are great. Well, they were down by 2% this Christmas season on their e-commerce business now. And everything's going e-commerce. In fact, if you don't believe me, Amazon, hold your ears now. Amazon was up considerably. They're up 18%. And to tell you how significant that is, 81% of all online sales during the holiday time frame were through Amazon. If you want something shipped to you or you order something online, 81% of the time you're doing it via Amazon. And so their sales were up. Now, there were some other surprising winners. Again, hold your ears if you don't want good news on retail. Nordstrom's saw a 40% rise in its online sales. And Target took a 38% boost in online sales. So that's Macy's and Kohl's also saw slight improvements with 7% each. You know, these big box retailers have got to make this transition to online sales. I mean, if Amazon's getting all this business, then they're slowly going to start chipping away at Amazon, but they got to figure out a way to do it better. It doesn't appear that Walmart's figured it out. If their Jet.com is down by 53%, that might be something to be concerned about. Anyhow, the National Retail Federation will be out with more detailed numbers, but it looks like it was a good Christmas season. Unless you don't like good Christmas seasons, maybe you like bad economy. I don't know. Am I making too much of this, Mr. Producer? He's sitting there getting a little. He's saying, yeah, move on to another story. There's a great story out of the Press Enterprise, and it's talking about the changes on the Board of Supervisors and covering some of the issues that the new supervisors are going to be facing as they go into taking on their new jobs. And we've had a big turnover on the Board of Supervisors. Of course, you had Chuck Washington, who's been there for a while, but he hasn't been around decades. And Manny Perez has been there for a little while also. And Kevin Jeffries, he's really the only one who's been there for a long, long time. He's the guy who's got the longevity because there's two new faces, Jeff Hewitt and Karen Spiegel. And so anyhow, but basically if you're used to the last 10 years or so looking at the same Board of Supervisors, well, they're moved on now, and you got some new faces there and facing some of the same old problems. We'll get into some of those issues facing the county when we get back. The Russ Betts Show here on iHub Radio.
Thinking of purchasing a home? Not sure if you qualify? Introducing PreQualFirst.com no-hassle, no-cost financing. There is no application fee, no processing fee, and no origination fee. We have proven government programs that will get you the financing you need regardless of your past. With seller concession and government grants, many borrowers can come to closing with little or no out-of-pocket cost. Let PreQualFirst.com help you. It's simple, it's fast, and it's free. So call now. 1-800-477-LOAN. Again, that's 1-800-477-LOAN. Looking to lower your monthly mortgage payment, pay off high interest rate credit cards, or just lock into a safe and secure low fixed interest rate? Introducing PreQualFirst.com's $599 no-hassle refinance. There is no application fee, no processing fee, and no origination fee. With our $599 total closing cost refinance loan, you could be saving hundreds of dollars per month and thousands of dollars each year. Call 1-800-477-LOAN. Again, that's 1-800-477-LOAN.
Ordering supplements online? Can't we just stop by Clark's?
Carnitine or creatine?
I'm not sure. Clark's would know.
Let's ask online help.
How can I help?
Difference. Carnitine, creatine.
No search containing cars and beans. How can I help?
Kidding? Just click for a live person.
Wait time. Undetermined. How can I help?
That's it. We're going to Clark's.
Told ya.
Why come into Clark's? because questions about your health are too important to trust just to anyone. Come in, let our great staff provide you with trusted answers that come with 45 years of experience. We remain the people's first choice year after year because we really do help people. So when it comes to your health, where will you go to get real answers?
That's it. We're going to Clark's.
Told ya.
Welcome to F-150 Radio, the new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar. Dean, go.
I'm all about lowering the bar, like I only brush my teeth on Monday.
The new Ford F-150 lineup raises the bar by being number one in towing, payload, and torque. It can make you more capable.
Capable schmapable.
The new 2018 Ford F-150. It doesn't just raise the bar, it is the bar.
When properly configured, classes full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds GVW are based on Ford segmentation.
Hi, Tom Bodette. Apparently, the hip thing for businesses to do these days is target millennials. So it may sound sus coming from this baby boomer, but Motel 6 is a V-great place for your squad to stay woke or asleep. The updated rooms are #blessed with contemporary floors, bedding, and flat-screen TVs that are totally on fleek. Plus, their prices are always low AF. I'm Tom Bodette, and we'll keep it lit for you. Book online at motel6.com.
Live from the Palm Springs iHub, he calls it as he sees it. The Russ Betts Show. Call 760-544-TALK. Now, here's Russ Betts.
Okay, well, the last I heard, it was Monday, and this is the Russ Betts Show on iHub Radio. Well, didn't that guy just get through announcing all that? He said it was the Russ Betts Show, didn't he? I just let him do the heavy lifting on that one. I can just keep on going with the show. All right. So we're talking about the Riverside County Supervisors, the new faces there, and some of the stuff that they're facing in the county. And you look, it can be pretty daunting when you look at all that's ahead. And there's also another new face in the Sheriff's Department with Sheriff Lieutenant Chad Bianco, who is now the sheriff, replacing incumbent Stan Sniff. And so he's also facing some new challenges. That budget in the Sheriff's Department is $700 million, and, well, he's got to go to the supervisors to get more than half of that in funding. And if you remember, Sniff was always making complaints that the supervisors weren't funding the department. He kept complaining that the department was running bare bones, and that was some tension between the sheriff and the board of supervisors, at least as I'm interpreted by the press enterprise, which is I'm getting some of this. Anyhow, the sheriff's department is going to be, it's a major portion of the county budget, $700 million plus budget, and they got to recruit applicants, and everybody's crying for more deputies out in the field. You look at these county areas that are patrolled by the sheriff, they all say, hey, we need more, we need better and more officers, and it's a huge area that each officer is covering. And in this contract cities, well, they're complaining because the costs are going up so much, so they're going to have to deal with that one. And in fact, some of the contract cities are deciding to, thinking about forming their own police departments. There's 17 cities in the county that contract with Riverside County for their policing services. I mean, it might say, for example, Rancho Mirage on the side of the car, but if you look down real low, printed beneath the doors, it says Rancho Mirage Police Department provided by Riverside County Sheriff's Office or Department. And so that's what you got going on there. Same thing, Palm Desert, Coachella. Desert Hot Springs has its own police department, and we seem to be doing okay. So 28 cities in the county, 17 of them use the county for their sheriff, for their police department. And interestingly, Menifee City Council just voted unanimously to go ahead with plans to form a city police force. And so there you've got that. Part of that becomes budget numbers, because as each city pays into the system, there's less people paying in, and it's less cities covering that overhead. So if Menifee drops out, now you got 16 cities covering the overhead of the department. The overhead has to be spread out equally among everybody, or at least according to some formula. It's got to be covered. And I can remember some conversations I had with the late Senator John Benoit, or Supervisor John Benoit, who was senator. No, he was supervisor at the time, yeah. And he said that, it's a really great deal to go with the county. They're going to have to raise their rates. And that was before they put in 2 consecutive rate increases of about 8%. So he was right. They were offering it too low, and they had 2 increases that were really racking some of the cities. Anyhow, some of the other issues coming up. The county budget is $5.5 billion. Huge. $5.5 billion budget. And they got some challenges. They got expenses are rising faster than revenues. And one of those is, of course, pensions. We've talked about that here a bunch of times. They're expecting a $303 million increase in pension costs. That's not the total pension costs. That's just a $303 million increase per year in pension costs to the budget. So that's huge. What's that, a third of $1 billion in a $5.5 billion budget? Do I have that right? I was a journalism major. I can claim that math is not my strong suit. Then they've got the John J. Benoit Detention Center in Indio. The jail is down there in Indio. And it's going to add beds that the county needs because everything is just packed full. But the problem is it's way behind schedule, and it was supposed to open last year, but they're saying it is going to open this year. The problem is not every cell is going to be available as jail space because to save money, they're not going to open them all up. Let's see what we got else here. The sheriff, we talked about that. And then you get the labor unions. They're not happy. One of them is seething, according to the Press Enterprise, over the board-imposed contract terms. While talks with another have yet to reach the deal almost 3 years after the last contract expired. They're operating 3 years without a contract. And then the supervisors, the old supervisor board took on marijuana, and they're going to allow marijuana cultivation or activity in the county. And wait till you see how much that heaps on top of you. Now, you get some revenue from that, but there's also a whole lot of work as every city that's taken on, especially, Desert Hot Springs found, is that there's a regulatory burden with that. And, yeah, you do get money, but you just don't tell somebody to set up and start operating. You've got to, it's work. So, well, there's work anywhere it's found that out. Look at Michigan. We're going to jump to the next story here in case you haven't figured out that segue. Michigan issues first cannabis recall, stating that products were not tested. So there you go, county. What if you got operations in your county, in your jurisdiction, that are, thanks. I was having a senior moment where everything just kind of turned off. How long did that go? A couple of seconds? Okay, as long as they go more than a couple of seconds, we're okay here. If you can ring in, you can call us, start ringing the phone if you hear a lapse. If I drift off into la la land, just ring the phone and wake me up. It kind of works like an alarm clock when you're on a... Anyhow, so Michigan issued its first cannabis recall, stating products were not tested. California went through that. I don't know how you recall marijuana, but apparently Choice Labs of Jackson sold under the brand name of Mary's. They're not necessarily dangerous, but they just don't know what's in them. And they've got some pretty high standards on marijuana and the parts per billion. I guess what they're saying is if somebody's out there thinking they're going to use Miracle-Gro to grow the marijuana, like you go buy at the store, Miracle-Gro, now, what I'm trying to figure out is I have Miracle-Gro for tomatoes and vegetables and flowers, and it's okay for those, but it's not okay to use Miracle-Gro for marijuana. That's some pretty pure organic stuff there, I guess, huh? All right, well, interesting. I was going to get into this one about China losing interest in the iPhones and everything. I'm still not caught up from the holidays. This stack here, of course, it keeps growing with everything else that's coming in, and it's like, when you take a vacation, you never really get a vacation. All that work's still waiting for you. You ever take off a week from work and you come back? Hey, it's all there waiting for you. You didn't, nothing went away. You just decided to stack it up on the side of the desk. All right, well, we stacked up another day here on the Russ Betts Show. 4 more to come this week. There's 4 days in this broadcast week left. And we'll be here with you tomorrow at the same time.